you guys and girls doing today? Tim Now and Day here. In today's video, y'all, we're going to be going over some good old fights and talking about what we could have did right, what we did wrong, and how we ultimately won these two fights, and just my entire thought process on the whole situation. Like I always say though, if you enjoy this kind of content, please consider hitting that like and that sub button down below, as it is much appreciated and it helps out the channel. But with that being said, let's get straight into the video. So the very first thing that we notice is that we spawn at the wall that's closest to two-story dorms, and I immediately tell myself that there is a spawn that's directly behind me. Knowing the spawns in the game will help you because you'll start to learn other players' mentalities, how they like to rotate, the hot spots that they like to go, and everything like that. So I immediately pop a golden star, which acts as a painkiller, and then I start pushing this spawn to catch these. So the very first thing that we do is when we go on top of this hill, we hear somebody to our right. My thought process is if this person was aggressive and they wanted to W key me, they'd either do that when I take out the grenade, or they would have started pushing me immediately by now. The fact that they didn't means they either don't know that I exist, or they're just playing passive and waiting for me to reveal myself first. When I take out the grenade and I realize that they weren't running towards me, I decide to throw the grenade, and then when the grenade is rolling on the ground, I use that as an opportunity to push up. The reason being is because most people, when they hear a grenade, especially in Tarkov, as buggy as they can be, you don't know where the grenade landed, you don't know what kind of grenade it is or when it's going to detonate. So a lot of people naturally will look in the direction of the grenade, or they'll try to run to get away from it. So by me throwing this grenade and pushing up, it allows me to take space and take more control over the fight, while the person is either too afraid to move because he doesn't want to get caught by the grenade, or he runs away from the grenade and I shoot him in the back. I will say that this player is a little bit smarter, because even though I threw the grenade and it was rolling next to him, he didn't move. He was focused on me, so that was good on him. The only thing I'd say that is different is that number one, he did whiff a couple of his shots because it took me a little bit to get on target. And number two, since I was on top of the hill with him, he could have slightly hesitated because maybe he thought that I was his teammate, and that's why he didn't shoot me at first. So those couple of seconds gave me the advantage to be able to kill him. And then what you see, what I do is I immediately rotate to the right and start to reload, because I think to myself, if he does have a teammate, that teammate's going to be coming from on top of the hill looking down on me. So I have to get behind cover, any kind of cover that I can find, which is these rocks, and reload, so that way I can be ready for a fight if it comes up. Now, what I'm doing right here is just following the good old golden rule of Tarkov. There's always one more. The very first thing I think of when I kill him, like I said, is I reload and I think he might have a teammate. If he does have a teammate, I'm trying to think into the enemy's mindset, and I'm thinking, what could the enemy be thinking right now? If he has a teammate, his teammate's probably thinking, my partner just died. Let me get on top of this hill and see if I can look down it to find this person. So I decide to say, okay, I'm going to reposition and rotate over to the left and not stay at his teammate's body. A lot of people make the mistake of getting a kill and just running straight to their loot or staying around that area. You don't want to do that, because if they have a teammate, they know exactly where to look to find you. So I said, let me rotate over to my left and get out of a position where this person on top of the hill is not going to expect me. And just like that, when we get on top of the hill, he comes up, he starts looking down, he has no idea where I'm at. He's probably trying to find me, but he has no idea. Now this second raid is a little bit different. We actually spawn over at Smuggler's Boat, so I decided to push on top of the hill, do the same exact thing, take a golden star in case we get into a fight and I need to keep running with my legs being blacked out. And I'm like, let's hurry up and push dorms. I'm thinking hopefully I might be the first ones there, but I'll let the clip play and then we'll go back and talk about it.
What? I'm fucked up.
All right, let's talk about it. All right, so like I said, I hear shots. I'm hoping that I was going to be the first one there, but apparently the people who spawned at the wall got there before me and they start fighting Rashala and his goons. I'm like, okay, that's fine. And one thing I want to note right here, the reason why I decided to go to the bathroom and go to the middle is because this is my freedom frame of mind. I'm thinking if I go over to the right and I go into that door on the first floor, there's a good chance that people can be in the bushes. When you're approaching from that side, it's extremely dangerous because especially with people trying to do setup and stuff like that, people could be looking down on you, people could be trying to snipe you in the back from construction, and people can be all in those bushes. I can't tell you how many times I've died in those bushes because I tried to push through that door. On top of that, opening that door at the very end of the hallway is extremely dangerous because if someone's down that hallway looking at you from the left, they're going to see you and your silhouette from the light of being outside. So it's normally not a good push to push straight down the hallway on the first floor anyway. I also didn't want to go over to the left because I figured that the people who spawned at the wall running to 3-story, if they had teammates that were lagging behind, I was probably going to encounter them, or they would just hear me and I would have to come up metal steps, and that'd be a way tougher fight to have to fight the goons and the people fighting the goons in Rashala at the same time. So I believe that hopping into the bathroom right here on the first floor was the best play. And by the way, when I say goons, I don't mean Big Pipe and Bird Eye, I just mean Rashala's guards. The first thing I'm doing right here while I'm going back and forth and making sure that the people on my second floor are still fighting, I decided to look through this little doorway right here just to make sure that no one's holding this angle, because some people will hold this and then if you push out, they'll just shoot you or they'll just try to chase you down. So once I clear this angle right here, I decide that it's safe for me to run down the hallway and get onto the steps. Now, when we push up on the steps, I decided to stay at the steps for 2 reasons. Number one, I don't know whether or not the people down the hallway to the left of me are dead yet. I don't know if they've killed Rashala and his guards or if they're still alive, or they're both alive and they're just waiting in a room waiting for a sound cue. And I didn't want to just W key down the hallway and expose myself and just get either shot in the back from my right or by Rashala and his goons or the PMCs that are still alive. I also heard somebody outside to the right coming up the metal steps, and I know based on knowledge that, okay, if the person wants to get to me, they either have to go first floor and come up from behind me, which I can hear them and I'll just turn around. They have to hop over this bed on second floor and I'm obviously going to hear that and I can just swing and kill them, or they're going to have to go up third floor and push down to me. So this right here, the spot that I'm at, is the perfect spot. There's no need for me to go up to third floor because someone could be holding that angle and then I just die for no reason. So I'm like, let me just hold this angle right here for a few minutes and see what happens. I decided to throw a grenade to see if I can bait out any sounds, and we do end up killing some of Rashala's guards, but I'm thinking to myself, the PMCs could still be alive somewhere and they're just not moving. Like I said, right here, this is when I hear the PMC that decided to come up on third floor, and I guess, he just thought that I didn't hear him and I just heard him creeping around. So, right when I heard that, it was like, okay, I know he's above me. He's definitely not below me. So, I just turned the corner and instantly turn on my flashlight. I do want to say that was one move I did right there that was nice, turning on your flashlight. A lot of people like to have it on 24/7 and have their laser on 24/7, but it gives the enemy indication of exactly where you are and it can change up the dynamic of a fight. So if you need to use your flashlight in dorms, like if it's that dark for you, you can use it, but I recommend turning it off and only turning it on or your laser on when you're about to swing on a corner or surprise an enemy to blind them. Later on in that raid, I did discover that Rashala and his guards did kill those 2 PMCs that came in earlier, but I was so laser focused on getting my quest done and just getting the loot off of the PMC that I killed that I just got that stuff and got out of there. But that is it for this video, y'all. Let me know down in the comments below what you think. I really like doing these videos because it's an in-depth analysis of what goes on in your mind. There's like 1,000 things happening, but you got to process it all in a couple of seconds. But if you enjoy these kind of in-depth breakdowns, let me know down in the comments below, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Timson 918 out of here. Love you guys.